Today on the top floor, we're joined by a visionary entrepreneur and global business leader with over 23 years of high impact experience in executive and senior leadership roles. He has navigated the complexities of B2B markets across multiple continents, from the Middle East to the Americas. Known for his ability to unlock new revenue streams and lead teams to success, he has consistently pushed the boundaries of what's possible, especially in industries like artificial intelligence, tech commerce, and digital media. As the co-founder and CEO of Superbo, he continues to set new standards in business development, strategy, and innovation. His blend of deep technical knowledge and strong leadership makes him a force to be reckoned with in today's competitive landscape. In this episode of the Top Floor, we'll delve into his approach to entrepreneurship, his experiences in leading teams, and his thoughts on what it takes to thrive as an entrepreneur in today's ever-changing world. Demetri Papazissis, a warm welcome to the Top Floor.
Thanks for having me, Simon. I'm excited to be here. What an intro, right? I almost, got convinced to actually buy myself, right? So eventually, so thank you very much for having me.
Absolute pleasure. So to kick off, Demetri, I want to look at your journey to date and what inspired you to venture into entrepreneurship, especially after, if you look at your LinkedIn profile, you've had several senior corporate roles. Why the change?
Very good question. I've always been driven by the desire to create and innovate, and while working. You are right. While working in various corporate roles, it gave me valuable insights and experiences. I felt there was kind of a ceiling to how much impact I could have within the constraints of traditional business structures. So anyhow, regardless the industry, entrepreneurship it offered me the opportunity to take ownership of my own ideas and fully execute them in ways that could, hopefully in ways that could disrupt industries. So it was more of a sense of the ability to control my own destiny and build something from the ground up and watch it scale. It's what ultimately pushed me into entrepreneurship.
And it's a great take out that in the fact that you wanted to take control of your life, not a big corporate. And I get that. I've had a similar experience. But now looking at your early experiences in sales and business development, how did you shape your approach in leading companies like Superbo?
Oh yeah, well, listen, sales and business development are fundamental, are the foundation. They really taught me that at the core of every single business, no matter how sophisticated, is the ability to connect with people. So whether that's customers or partners or team members, this is the essence, the ability of connect with people. It's about understanding the needs, creating the value, and delivering the solutions. So those lessons, frankly speaking, have been, for me, they have been fundamental to also when it comes to my role in Superbo, right? So because we do focus on heavily on building very, very strong relationships. We've been very customer centric, so to tell you the truth. So just making sure, ensuring actually that our innovations can meet the real market needs. It is very, very tricky part. So my sales background keeps me grounded in the importance of communication and execution.
And with that focus on customer centricity, I mean, it's something I particularly enjoy looking at and studying and working with clients on. Um, I mean, if you're starting from a point of being customer centric, I mean, that's half the battle, because if you're not, and you're just trying to impose your processes or the way you do things on your customers, you're just going to get pushback. So it's great to hear the focus that you've got in Superbo in working, from a customer centric approach. But obviously, as you've grown the business and as you've come through this journey, as an entrepreneur, you've faced challenges. Can you share with the audience today a particular moment in your career where you faced a significant hurdle, and how did you overcome it?
Well, one of the biggest hurdles I faced was during the early stages of scaling Superbo. So we had a product that was very innovative, but the market was still catching up to the idea of digital transformation. They were not even into the Gen AI in practical applications. Embedding your innovative idea into an organization where embedding AI today is a very big bet. So there was skepticism, and it's a bootstrap company. We're just raising our Series A right now, but we've been bootstrapped since the inception of Superbo. So we overcame it by staying persistent and focusing on educating the market. So we doubled down on customer success stories, proving our value through various POCs and case studies, trying to prove our value through all these case studies and pilots. So you say it took time, but persistence and adaptability were always the foundation. Actually, no, were always the key, right? So you have to believe in your vision even when others don't see it yet.
And so the challenge in that was communicating that to your customers and getting them to buy into it, or
Educating the market, actually, right? Persisting and educating the market. I
yeah.
think we got also very lucky with the by the end of 2022, there was a worldwide buzz and boom about Gen AI with the introduction of OpenAI in the world, right? So for us, it was like it was one of those very lucky moments that we said, hey, this is a fantastic buzz. It's something that will help us and until now, Simon, we keep educating the market. If you think that the market is ready or mature enough to embed Gen AI, no, it's not. It's not mature enough. And even the ones who believe they do it, they don't do it correctly. They need to be data mature companies. They need to have the proper data architecture, and most of them are not. They just use it as a buzzword. But gradually they will reach that point.
So, I mean, interesting enough, when I talk to friends, colleagues, customers about AI, some of them are almost saying, "Oh, it's all old hat now," and it's we're waiting for the next thing to come along, because everybody's sort of, I think, still, as you quite correctly focused on, Demetri, the need to learn about how to use AI properly to get the maximum out of it. And I think a lot of people are still going to ChatGPT, throwing something in there, outcomes, and away they go. How do you maintain the resilience and adaptability in such a rapidly evolving business environment? Especially when we look at AI and digital media. How do you do that in Superbo?
It's not how I do that in Superbo. I do it all of my life, right? So staying resilient comes from having a very strong purpose and being adaptable by always learning. So in industries just like AI, things move very fast on an exponential rate. So if you're not staying ahead, you're definitely falling behind. So I do maintain my resilience by keep focusing, keeping my long-term vision while being flexible in the short term without being myopic. If something doesn't work, this is something we're doing Super Bowl phenomenally. If something doesn't work, we pivot, but we never lose sight of our broader goals. So I also, make sure I surround myself with people who are definitely smarter than me, with a diverse team that brings different perspectives. It's something that also helps us stay innovative and adaptable in this rapidly changing, if not world, I'm going to say ecosystem. It's exponential. The rate is exponential.
That old adage from Henry Ford, if you have the ability to recognize ability, you'll be successful. And it's refreshing to hear that you're, as a CEO and a leader, that you like to get people around you that are more capable, more, qualified, whatever it is, to grow your business, which is great to hear. And I just want to focus on that because you've led diverse teams across different cultures and geographies. What strategies have you found effective in motivating and aligning those teams towards a common goal, a vision?
Well, the key is to foster a sense of ownership and a shared purpose. And when people feel like they are part of something bigger than themselves, they are naturally motivated. So I still have to focus on very clear communication, making sure that every single one understands not just what we're doing, but why we're doing it. So empowerment is very critical, if I may say. Okay, empowerment is very critical. I believe in giving my team the autonomy to make decisions and take risks, while we, the whole C-suite, we ensure that we give them the resources they need in order to succeed. It's also about respect for diverse perspectives, regardless of culture, of experiences, of geography, is very vital in building an aligned team. We so yes, we hire stellar people, we hire stars, and we hire people mainly with great character. This is very important. Human resources departments, they tend to oversee that. They just focus on skill. Skill is necessary, but skill is something that you can also develop along the way. Character, unfortunately, you don't have any room to develop your character. This is the most you can get. And this is as good as gets.
Yeah, I find that absolutely fascinating because, as you quite correctly say, a lot of corporates tend to focus on the classic competencies. Have you got the qualifications to do the job? Boom, 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 boom. But you're actually looking at something slightly different, and I find again that's very refreshing. This focus on character, and you've said some key words already. Respect, empowering people. What is or how important for you when you approach team building are the qualities and of these individuals, and how do you prioritize when assembling a high performance team? So let's look at Super Bowl. You had the concept, you had a vision of what you want to do with it. You knew you needed some technical capabilities around there, but how did you prioritize those qualities that you've just discussed?
Yeah, very important question. One, question. Well, I prioritize diversity of thought, resilience, and passion. I look for people again with great character who are not only skilled but also very curious and adaptable. Curious, Curious is a big play word here, right? Is in today's world, industries, you know that Simon very well. They shift very quickly. So having a team that can be flexible enough to pivot and learn on the fly is very crucial. Superb's core team is fantastic. They're phenomenal. They do have these. I also value, as I said, the empathy. People who can work well with other people, understand different viewpoints, and can really collaborate a lot more effectively at the end of the day. So teamwork is more about synergy than individual charisma or brilliance. So I focus on creating a culture where everyone's strengths are amplified through collaboration. I think it's key. And so if you combine all these, the character with the curiosity that actually never kills the cat, you end up with a fantastic, diversified plateau of characters, of talented, skillful people with great character.
Yeah, I can fully endorse that approach. And look, in Vistage, when I invite people in to sit around the table, I look at four things, which is authenticity as a leader, the ability to grow and the want to grow, not just themselves, but also their business, their vulnerability, and their willingness to share wisdom, but in a fun way. And, if you've got those sort of qualities around the table and everybody's focused on the vision, it becomes a very, very powerful environment. And I
Yes.
can see that. So let's talk about innovation and growth in Superbo. It's innovation has clearly, been at the core of many of your ventures. How do you identify growth opportunities and balance innovation and operational efficiency to take advantage of those opportunities?
Um, well, innovation for the sake of innovation doesn't work. So the key is actually to identify where innovation can solve real problems. Um, I keep my ear close to the ground, talking to customers, studying markets, the market trends, and constantly asking what's next. So at Super Bowl, we are always, I think this is like a constant for us. We're always thinking about the next wave of technology, but we ensure that each innovation is tied to a very clear business case. Most of the R&D divisions or companies that innovate, they tend to focus on the R&D and the innovation, like, exclusively, without tying it you have to tie it to a clear business case. So balancing innovation with operational efficiency, it really comes down to discipline. If you ask me, it comes down to discipline. So we experiment, but we also, we do experiment constantly. But we also keep a very close eye on our resources of our people to ensure that innovation aligns very well with our broader goals.
Okay. So, Supervo focuses on cutting edge technology. You've highlighted it, like generative AI.
Even
And I know
even
when we,
even
well,
a lot more than that. So Gen AI
yeah,
and LLMs are pretty much mainstream for Super Bowl. We are in the agentic AI, doing virtual employees, not in a monolithic way. We're talking about purely autonomous, non-monolithic AI agents. So it's really the next big thing. It's gonna be here like in full demand in the next couple of years.
wow. And so with that sort of visionary thought process that's going through the business, how do you stay ahead of the curve in terms of technological advancements? And sort of what excites you most about the future of the tech, particularly with Superbo?
Well, I think, as I said before, we foster a culture of continuous learning and exploration, right? So we're constantly testing new ideas, partnering with researchers, and staying connected to the tech community. I mean, on a global scale. So what excites me most about the future of tech is the absolute democratization of creativity and problem solving, and we are getting that. So technologies like Gen AI, if not already, they will empower people to do a lot more with less, allowing basically very small teams and individuals to create at a scale previously reserved only for very large enterprises. So we're going to experience in our lifetime companies of 10 or 15 or 25 people while having valuation of $500 billion. So it's possible. So the potential for unlocking human creativity through AI is really incredible. And we're just scratching the surface.
Wow. Wow. So what qualities, let's look at this entrepreneurial spirit that Demetri has. What qualities do you believe distinguish a successful entrepreneur from those who struggle?
Story of my life. It's a very difficult question. I think everyone has his own character, but for me, my humble opinion is that successful entrepreneurs are resilient, are adaptable, and they have an insatiable curiosity. I mentioned curiosity before. So resilience helps you push through inevitable setbacks, while adaptability allows you to be flexible and pivot when things, let's just say, don't go as planned, right? Curiosity again drives you to continuously learn and innovate. So another critical quality is self-awareness, knowing exactly your strengths and weaknesses and surrounding yourself with people who complement you, who can offer and contribute and fill in your gaps. So, if not smarter, at least they need to complement what you cannot do. This has to be clear for entrepreneur. And of course, my favorite word for entrepreneur is risk. Take
Mhm.
risk. You have to take the risk. There's no other way. You need to take the risk. You need to be a risk taker. Of course, you need to be, stay curious and stuff, but you need to take the risk. Take it.
When we first met, you explained to me how Superbo is set up, based here in Dubai, but you've got teams all over the world sort of contributing in various aspects. How important is having this strong network, and how has your global perspective helped you achieve success across the different markets that you're operating in?
Well, it's a strong network is invaluable, right? So they say your network is your net worth. So your network is your support system, right? So your sounding board, um, and often your path to very new opportunities. Um, so my global perspective has been instrumental in understanding different markets. I was always very good at this. So each and every region has its own culture, business practices, and customer preferences. So by immersing myself in different markets and building very strong local partnerships, um, I was always able, and I'm still able to expand successfully across geographies. As I said, you can also imagine, we were talking about how you build the team internally. It's the same philosophy applies when you build your network externally. So you need diverse team of partners. to help you localize your offering and your understanding. Because the understanding from north to east or from west to east, from west to east or from north to south it can be very, very different, very different.
So look, for any aspiring entrepreneur listening into this podcast, given your extensive experience, what advice would you offer to someone looking to start their own business today?
Today, yeah. Well, I think we are living in very challenging times. So, but my advice stays the same. My biggest advice is to stay focused on the customer, understand their pain points deeply, understand deeply their pain points, and build solutions that genuinely address those needs. Don't just build for the sake of building, right? Don't get distracted by trends unless they align with your vision. So also don't underestimate the importance of execution. So ideas are only as good as your ability to bring them to life. And many companies they tend to forget that. They might, it's very important how you implement. It's very important.
You've hit the nail on the head around the ideas because I meet people who have some great ideas, some really fantastic ideas, but their ability to, as you say, bring them to life often is limited because of their network and who they can reach out for and their willingness or lack of to take a risk to make that idea come together. Um, how
But they
should on sorry.
but they also get distracted from trends, what's going on, and they don't really do the reality check to see if they align with their vision. It's very important. You can
Mm,
hear probably dozen creating fantastic ideas on a daily basis. But then you still need to question yourself: Is this for me? Is this going somewhere? Is this aligned with our own vision in this company? Yes or no? See,
yeah, yeah.
it's a reality check.
And yes, because if you don't do that, of course, it's a touch of the king's clothes, isn't it? You're going down thinking everything's wonderful, and of course there
Yes.
comes a point where everybody turns around and says, "Well, no, it's not." And if you hadn't had that reality check with your network, with those around who you can trust, with the team that you've built up, you're asking to set yourself up for failure, sadly. So, how should entrepreneurs prepare themselves for the inevitable ups and downs of that journey, the entrepreneurial journey?
Well, you have to mentally prepare for the long haul. Entrepreneurship is a marathon, it's not a sprint, right? So you need to be ready. So you're gonna be in this race for quite some time. Surround yourself with. You need to surround yourself and establish a support system. This is how I call it, right? So support system, whether it's mentors, friends, family, peers, who can really help you during tough times. It's very important, even mentally, right? So, and also I say that to my partner many times. You also need to celebrate the very small wins along the way, and of course, never lose sight of why you started this in the first place. So, passion and persistence are your greatest assets here.
Interesting, interesting. So, yeah, let's talk about Superbow.
Mhm.
Looking forward, what's next for you and Superbow? And perhaps it might be helpful if you just given a brief overview of what Superbow does to the audience.
Well, Superbo is an agentic AI company. So we started all the way from AI. We went all the way to the deep down of Gen AI. We moved to agentic AI, which is not here yet, but it's gonna come. But we have to stay ahead of the market, building virtual employees, not in a monolithic way. So eventually Superbo will be offering the possibility to do it yourself, your own virtual employee with the skill set that you want, build it, and let him do the job of thousands of people. At Superbo, we are continuing to push the boundaries of what's possible with Gen AI and agentic AI. We are really working on several exciting projects that will basically, they will help democratize the access to AI-driven creativity tools, the marketplace. We call it the virtual employee marketplace, empowering all the way from individuals to very large enterprises. So we're also exploring how AI can revolutionize other industries, like, all the way from education to entertainment, to airport, telcos, insurance, medical. There's no limitation, and that's why we're industry agnostic, because we do believe that there is a successful way to embed AI in every single organization, regardless if we're talking about a small office, home office, or if we're talking about a humongous large enterprise. There is a way. It's not the same way, but there is a way.
Interesting. So, are you allowed to talk about any exciting projects or ventures that are on the horizon for Superbo that can keep our interest with you?
The most I can say right now is that we are building something phenomenal in terms of delivering outstanding idea of how virtual employee will be able to be super productive, and at the same time, killing jobs in the market will come with the creation of new jobs in the market. So you're going to be amazed to see people who were probably supervising a team today. They would be supervising a set of virtual employees. I cannot disclose more in terms of clients, but I can tell you that we have reached successfully the agentic AI era in Superbo, and we're moving full throttle right now to the virtual employees, which is again part of the agentic. So we're staying ahead of the market as much as we can. We innovate. We create ideas. We test ourselves. We talk a lot. We communicate. I think we have a very good communication, and a lot of we have been very lucky by having the chance to test our ideas along the way in commercializing the idea. So every single step of our innovation, every single phase of our innovation has been commercialized. It doesn't mean that you make the money. We're not revenue centric right now. It means that you vet your process in real life with millions of users using your product. It's very, very important for any company. It's a reality check.
Wow, sounds exciting. So, to wrap up,
Yeah.
if you could sum up your entrepreneurial philosophy, Demetri, in one sentence, what would it be?
Take risks, remain curious, and never stop innovating while focusing on solving real problems.
Nice. Take risks.
Yeah, take risks and remain curious.
And remain curious. I love that. I think that's great. Demetri, it's been a real pleasure talking to you, and thank you for finding the time to come and visit the top floor and share your wisdom. I look forward to seeing Superbo grow and seeing how it's really going to impact positively, I think, by the sounds of it, the marketplace. And look forward to inviting you back perhaps in 6 to 12 months' time. You can tell us what's happening.
For a time. Thanks so much for having me, Simon. It was great.
Absolute pleasure. Absolute pleasure.